I think that's exactly right. I think Trump is very much stuck between, it's really stuck. So, if he withdraws from the Middle East, which is really militarily the best strategy, what would happen is that Iran would dominate the Middle East. And so they would close off the Strait of Hormuz and collect tolls in order to rebuild the economy. GCC nations like the UAE and Saudi Arabia would be extremely vulnerable. Now, the GCC invests heavily in America through a system called a petrodollar, right? Where they sell their oil in US dollars and then they recycle these US dollars back into the American economy by investing trillions of dollars into the AI sector, into the financial system by buying US treasuries. So if Iran were to dominate the Middle East, then the petrodollar would collapse. Israel would not countenance a strong Iran because Israel is very much concentrated on achieving the Greater Israel Project. It will not stop the war in Lebanon, which is crucial to a ceasefire between the United States and Iran. So for these reasons, Trump is really stuck where he is.
So bottom line, you're saying in the equation, it's Israel that is jackknifing the whole thing. And Israel's already saying we're taking Lebanon, at least the south. They're already selling. Realtors are already trying to pre-sell houses as they just blew up 30,000 plus Christian homes. I mean, again, I don't have a hard on for Israel, but Israel has tried to come into the power vacuum in the U.S. and is literally engaged in the most maniac type behavior. Because if you look multi-steps ahead, they're a pariah, but they don't stop. What is Israel's calculus, Professor?
Honestly, I'm starting to get to the point where I say it's easy to just blame Israel, but let's face facts here. Like America is and remains the most powerful nation on earth, right? I refuse to believe that Israel are kind of like using them as puppets. So my only explanation, and correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, guys, but my theory here is that the US actually are completely aware of what they're doing, and this is all being done by design. What do you guys have to say about that? Like, do you just want to say that, oh, it's Israel, they made America do it? Or actually is Israel and America just like the same bird, different feathers of the same bird, different wings of the same bird, the same goals? And then they're just using Israel to kind of pretend and act like as if, oh, they made us do it, they made us do it. Meanwhile, this actually their goal all along. Like, just think about it, guys. Like, how does it make any sense? Like, the subservience in which, like, the American politicians, they seem to grovel before, like, these people, right? It only it only proves, in my opinion, that there's an alignment between both countries and they are working together. And nobody's forcing anybody to do anything they don't want to. This is all being done just by design and with full intention behind it. But maybe I'm wrong here. I might be off. I've been known to be off a time or two.
It's Messianic. They believe that this is literally the end of days. They are very close to the return, the coming of their Messiah. And the series, they've already launched a series of events, a chain of events.
Exactly. So if you're in a cult, you don't look at second, third, fourth order events. You don't play chess. You don't think 50 years ahead or 20 years. You just, nope, we're taking over. That's it.
Right. And also, we have to remember, like, Gaza, from their perspective, it was very much a ritual sacrifice where they have, commit themselves all in their eschatology. And so they can't stop now. They just have to finish things as they are.
Is that called Amalek, where they declared genocide?
Well, I think Amalek is their enemy. But I think the idea is that they want this war in the Middle East because this will lead to a chain of events that will usher in the
sure, but under Amalek, you kill everybody.
Well, because they're your enemy, right? Because it's either you or them. It's really a fight to the finish. They really believe that if they were to show mercy and clemency to the Palestinians, then when they grow up, when the children grow up, then it'll be much worse for them. And so they need to do it now, or in 10, 20 years' time, they might be finished as a society.
We talk about bodyguard more than you can chew. The United States dropped 7.6 million bombs on the Vietnamese, who won't give up to anybody ever. not the Chinese, not the Japanese, not the French, not us. We only dropped 22,000 bombs on them. I mean, Israel's biting off more than they can chew, thinking all these people are just going to roll over. They think all the Middle East is going to roll over and let them take over?
Right. So unfortunately, in their cult, in their eschatology, the real world doesn't really matter. The material world doesn't really matter. What matters is relationship to God. So what they're trying to do is create a condition where the entire world is aligned against Israel. And at this time, when the entire world wants to destroy Israel, when anti-Semitism is rife throughout the world, when armies are marching against Jerusalem, then at this particular time in history, all the Jewish people around the world will feel tremendous regret for neglecting God in the past. They will open their hearts to their God, Yahweh. And at this time, Yahweh will heed their need. He will feel love for his.
So let me get this right. So essentially, what the professor is saying here is that Israel, they're on purpose trying to get the whole world to turn against them, so that when the world turns against them, then they can teach their people a lesson, and then have their people turn back to their God or their Messiah. That's what I'm understanding in a nutshell. So it sounds almost like as if Israel, their government is just as bad as our government here, right? Always like plotting and seeming like as if there's always some underlying motives behind their actions. Similar for sure. It's almost like as if these are all just different branches of the same corporation. But what do I know, y'all? What do I know?
People, he will forgive his people, and at this time, history will end. So, unfortunately, according to the Kabbalistic tradition,
Then you got the EU, you got what's left of the U.S., you've got Israel on this weird, crusade or whatever. How do you see these forces tying together with your prediction? Well, I think it's basically happened because war of attrition, the mullahs didn't fall. War of attrition, they can hold it straight. Trump knows it's killing the economy. He wants an off-ramp, but Israel says they won't let the war stop. What is your prediction with the U.S.? I think at this time's lost the war. Then what unfolds out of this?
right? So, I think we are at a critical crossroads in our history where there are multiple outcomes. And I'm certainly hope that China and the United States can work together to maintain a status quo. And they are working very hard in that regard. But I think the most likely outcome is, first of all, Iran becomes a forever war where the United States is just stuck there for the next 10, 20 years. There's really no way out because to abandon the war right now would be to abandon the American empire. And these past few months, we've seen that Trump is very intent.
That sounds and looks about right, from what we can all see. Because how does he get out of this? So it's almost like as if they know what they're doing once again, because there's no getting out of this, right? Iran has already put a chokehold on the streets, planted mines everywhere. So even if you say, oh, we've destroyed their navy, we've destroyed their air force, well, they never really had a navy to begin with. They never really had an air force to begin with. It doesn't take that much, apparently, to make the insurance companies not want to insure vessels going through mine-infested straits, right? So there's no getting out of this. And I refuse to believe that the U.S. made such a mistake like this as to go in. So I think this is all part of their plan. I think they really want to disrupt the oil supply coming out of the Middle East. I really think that that's what this is about. I want to hear from you guys in the chat. What do you think this is really about? Do you think that the U.S. were just useful idiots and just pawns in this Israel-Iran conflict? Or do you actually think that the U.S. actually using Israel, if you want to call it a proxy, as their proxy in the Middle East? Let's talk about it, y'all.